going to tell you about my very own guitar, which I've never done before. This I bought in '86. It was my first Fender. It's a Japanese Fender, and at the time, a lot of stigma against Japanese Fenders. All the purists were saying that unless it's American, they're rubbish. Well, 20 years later, well, more than 20 years later, it seems that a lot of people like the old Japanese Strats. Lucky for me. So I think I bought this for $1,050 way back then. Bought it on finance, of course. I was all of about 18-year-old, and along the way, of course, if you stay with the one guitar, you feel comfortable on it forever and ever, which I do. It's hard to pick up other guitars and play it as fluently as my own guitar. I never had much money, probably too much of a muso to go out and get a real job and earn some big bucks, so I just kept changing things along the way. This originally was a cream coloured Strat. I took it to a furniture guy who stripped the paint off and basically was swearing how much lacquer was on the guitar. It took him forever and ever, and along the way it had a different tremolo. I think Fender had their own version of a Kayla. It just snapped strings all the time, so I got rid of that, bought a real Kayla for it. Changed the pickups many times.
What pickups are they at now?
Right now, this is actually just a 59. Is it?
Gibson?
No, it's a Seymour Duncan 59er. Yeah, and I got onto this by default, really, and it's very cool. My only beef about it is it doesn't split to single coil, but then not many humbuckers really split to single coil well anyway. This one is my holy grail of pickups. Very unusual. This is a Damasio humbucker from hell. Anyone would think that that means it's a really high-powered pickup. On the contrary, it's actually their attempt to make a single coil sounding pickup in a humbucker format. The reason they called it a humbucker from hell is if you put it in this position, it'll cut your head off, and some people like that. But it became very famous, especially in amongst Les Pauls, for people to put in their neck position. Cleaned it up, really has, and you'll hear it in a moment, really makes this guitar sound like a hollow body guitar. It still has enough grunt to sing. I think of it very much as a Pink Floyd neck position pickup. It's my favorite. You can use it with just a little bit of distortion, and it still sounds like a hollow body. Sounds fantastic. Had a 5-way switch originally, flipped it over to a Les Paul style down here, which I find very comfortable. I believe they've got them on the Gibson Explorers as well. It's down here. And then this is an on-off switch, so I can still do the old Les Paul Ace Frehley tricks, which I'll go through now.
What about your tone? There's no tone?
Got rid of the tone. And I always ran the tone full blast anyway, so there was not much point in having it really. What else? I've tried so many different things from all different pickups. I've had a single coil down in here, all the rest. Everything's been changed around. This alfoil in there was put there by a guitar repairer who said you're going to get a lot of interference if we don't put something over those wires. I used to think it was very cool to be able to just see the wires in there, but he put that in there. So be it. I've changed the frets to be as jumbo as I can. I even changed the machine heads so that they looked better. And the old Kayla is, I've used Kaylas pretty much all the time, never really gone to Floyd Rose. I've had a guitar with a Floyd Rose on it. Obviously they're a different beast. Floyd Rose, you really need to wear them in, you really need to know how to use them. I think with the Kayla they're a little bit more stable. They, this one certainly doesn't break any strings, and I can even drop my my 6th string down to drop D without unlocking my lock nut, which is very unusual. You can't do that on a Floyd Rose. So yeah, it's still always in experimentation, but I'll give it a little blast. Let's get something going on here. Speaks for itself, really. I don't know how it's going to clean up on this Marshall. Okay, so it's obviously quite full sounding there. I've got a little capacitor in here, so when I drop down the volume, it should thin it out a little bit, but it still keeps the treble. Not that I'm much of a clean player anyway. I'll just put a little bit of grit. And you can kind of imagine that that is the living end guitar player's sound with that hollow body. What does he use? A 335 kind of thing going on. Again, that's just straight on this humbucker. It's got quite a clear, natural sound. Even with some grit in there, you know. And again, I can drop that down. So yeah, I love the ability for that. Obviously, I struggle to get the real Strat sounds, which is why I wanted a bridge pickup that can be split. And if anyone has any ideas on what the ultimate humbucker is that can be split very, very well, I'll be very keen to find out. That's just a bit of grit on the bridge. When I knock it back, it'll thin out a little bit. It's still quite usable though.